Welcome everyone to another episode of Open Source Code Every Day. I want to do a new fresh build for testing because we, as usual, you have seen it, we did so many fixes and improvements that actually I'm kind of happy that I didn't, the last release was amazing. I didn't really publish it, press release and stuff because busy. In retrospect, at some weeks I was thinking, yeah, shit, no, we didn't like PR this. But we will probably do that the next week, next month, because this release will be even more amazing. And one last thing is, the last time recurring subscribers have seen that my to-do is hundreds of lines, probably 400 lines to do of improvements and fixes. And one major thing I finally do, and also a pro tip, don't delay. Do important fixes today, don't procrastinate, because in the meantime I wasted more time manually YOLOing some things than just fixing it for once. Usually I do fix things at once, but the problem is I fix so much, eventually I'm also tired and burned out. So the thing I'm talking about is actually more correctly setting up our Clang, which we now also optionally use for kernel compiler. And I just need to stop here the live video view, not to waste bandwidth. My precious Vodafone's failing DOCSIS bandwidth. I started a new build already, and so what I'm talking about is having on my to-do symlinking Clang. And what this means is, so we just started the build 10 minutes ago, soon we will be there. Cheers. And oops, why does this not? Yeah. Actually, I need to check. I've done this 15 years ago. So we have here somewhere case you see, and what I'm talking about is symlinking the various compilers appropriately. So let's say work. Let's see postconfig case you see. Somewhere we need to symlink. And the question, let's maybe in parallel, is also why I usually welcome everyone. Only see webcam? Ah, sorry. Why did I not see this? Yeah, so the thing is, it also really pisses me off. Thanks for saying this. Thankfully, not really much was lost yet. All right. Except showing you introduction. But thanks. So the thing is with this bloody webcam, 2023 does pulse audio work. Yes, usually. But what now doesn't work is the bloody Wayland stuff. Each time I turn the bloody display on, it gets another display name, right? I boot my system, it has DP3. I switch it off because to preserve energy. I turn the secondary display back on again. It gets DP5 and 6 and stuff. This is just hilarious. And because I didn't see. So that is get outputs here, right? It's like, this is a Steam Deck, right? But it's unrelated to the Steam Deck because it's a generic AMD GPU. I also, like, why has, so I have two displays, right? Also 3 displays, a Steam Deck, I don't even use internal display. Like, why is it not DP2? And why is it constantly incrementing? But it's also not always incrementing, right? If I switch it off and on again, then it will have 4 and 5 and 6. I don't think I've ever seen more than 7 or 8. Also, sometimes I have an uptime of a week, and I probably turn the display out on and off 20 times. Also, I just had to reboot to shout out further uptime 10 minutes. Usually I have here days or weeks. Because it's bloody, I said this again, this is so frustrating and this pisses me off so much, especially as I paid the full price for the Steam Deck stuff, including 99 euro or so for the Steam Deck dock. And I said it before, and then I continue to code, but I shed out 99 euro, and I have probably 4 or 5 other USB docking things, and I thought, and all of them are glitchy, right? All of them, recurring theme, leave in the comments below, how many of your USB-C dongles and stuff work reliable, right? I thought I buy the official Steam Deck dock, and it is outstanding quality. Unfortunately not. Yes, it does kind of sort of work, but even when it works, after some days or latest a week, it starts to crash, the firmware or so, I believe, and the displays don't work anymore, right? Which I switch off. Yes, I switch them off each time I don't use them. I switch them off to save maximum power. But I would say a bloody Steam Deck dock thing, USB dock thing needs to survive this, or kernel driver. I don't want to blame the AMD GPU kernel driver as it, although this also sometimes crashes, but that might be related to the firmware, because just today, and so usually I turn the display on, display doesn't wake up anymore, and then I force power off, because probably I could have secure shelled in. Anyway, I force powered off the Steam Deck, and then it doesn't power on with the BIOS, right? It's then stuck in some bootloop, probably because the USB dock is so crashed, so that I would not blame the AMD GPU driver as it's probably more the USB dock firmware. Although also BIOS bugs or imperfect, a previous video, right? People hate, other YouTubers hate perfect code. It's like, yeah, that is happening when you don't have perfect code, right? Use super complex alt mode, maxing, USB-C dock firmware crashes, and the firmware also doesn't work perfectly. If, like, I would say if a USB-C peripheral is crashed and behaves erratically and stuff, the BIOS should come up right. Then you need to unplug the cable. I believe actually I need to power cycle. I mean, I have not done a scientific analysis of this problem, but from the 20 times it happens, because the thing is, you switch it off, you don't remember each detail. Did I power cycle this and that? But I believe usually when this Steam Deck dock crashes, I believe I have to power cycle it, right? Because the thing is, you need to plug then the power wall, VART, and the USB-C cable, because if you leave one in, it still gets power through the USB-C cable. So you need to unplug the USB-C and the wall wart to fully power cycle and reset the bloody USB-C dock. And then you go live and your bloody displays have another number, because just use, and Apple said just use dongles. It's so convenient and amazing. Thanks Apple for unleashing the dongle hell on the IT industry a decade ago. Picard said on screen that it works 21st century, not so much. What? Picard said on screen and it works 21st century, not so much. Did he say that? That is amazing. Which episode is it? I want to see it. So we need to create some Symlink, and now that we ranted about the bloody state of dongles. Also, these are the dongles on my desk, and that is only a third of what we have in the office. Because this is my test lab. This is, thanks Apple. Devices don't come with ports anymore, so you have all the ports scattered over your desk. Yeah. And this is, I just sorted some dongles away in the boxes, otherwise. He's normally asking data? Oh, he's normally asking data. So, Symlinks. Oh, by the way, what I usually like to do, llvm.org, is check if there's a new version, because sometimes we miss some. And okay, 606 is 1606 is, I believe, what we probably have. Wait, why is 16? Why is it not listed here? What? I have some impression they have some. No, I want. Why is this not? I wanted Git. Ah, come on. Download. Or is download here? Maybe we plug it. 0 frames. Linking also difficult. 1606. Actually, we could directly extract it. Yeah, we have that version. Amazing. Because usually when I check it, then we are not on the latest version, which is why I checked it. Mirrors LLVM. I believe mostly Kling 1606, because I wanted to check. The GNU stuff usually has transform program name in configure in autoconf, but some modern stuff doesn't have that. So do they have some kind of transform? in CMake transform CPP. No, that is other stuff. Tooling, driver, transform utils. I mean, thankfully we have install wrappers that might come handy. Clang transform program name install, because I want to install this. So that is the topic of today's video, right? Before and after our run. Apparently, maybe not. If you would know that, leave in the comments below. What are we building? Okay, soon we are hitting that. And also, maybe we check already. So we will probably do that manually, right? I only checked this. I can do this with T2, probably auto-transforming that, because I want to transform it to x86, like to arch triplet dash clang, what we usually do for cross-compiling, because then you can obviously differentiate between, I mean, you need to do that anyway, right? Otherwise, if you cross-compile, you often need the host compiler, and if you have both as GCC, that is, if you ever wondered why we usually have this arch prefixed in cross-compile toolchain, so that we can differentiate between building a cross-compiled target executable or a local host executable. And now that more and more stuff needs clang, that more and more comes into play for this to work reliably, and that's an hour to do, and that's what we're doing now. x86. So that is our new test build. I just cleaned that to have this completely clean from scratch. And I believe we have this now. I recently moved that, I believe. So that should be here. And the question would also be our K CC, yeah, so we have that, and I wonder why. So that is a bug in our system. Once upon a time we also have bugs. New coffee. Okay, yeah, so somehow we have a config option, and that is also what I wondered. So that is what I because so this configuration should be, we have a config option for that, and it appears not to be fully working. KCC, yeah, that is set. So that is the configuration that you can set. So currently I still want GCC as system compiler, most notably to be able to build glibc, because at 2023 that still doesn't build with Clang, at least not for most architectures in x86. Too many cables. I need to rewire the office. I have too many cables in the meantime around. And there's like 4 display cables, 3 Ethernet cables, USB, mini HDMI, camera. Even I probably need to make a poll soon. How is your cable management in the office? Because always when I sort this desk, like a week later, it's full with cables and headsets and more USB cables. So let's see where we do that. So it should be here. Maybe, so it probably is in GCC conf. KCC. Yeah, so that is apparently linked unconditionally. Only minimal adoption for stage 0. So how do we do this here? We obviously need to conditionalize that. What shell trickery can we do to do this? Like a binary operator. Question there, why didn't I choose to do woodworking? Why did... Ah, you mean you. Why did you not choose to do woodworking? Thought. Why did I think computers are fun? Yeah. In retrospect, I have to agree somehow. And that is also the thing. Maybe I should make more dedicated videos. The thing is, people always said this, like, make your hobby you work and you never work another day in your life. It's of course complete bullshit, right? Because a hobby is one thing if you do it for yourself. But if you do it then for work, then you need to do things that you wouldn't want to do, right? Like if people want to pay, that's the thing, right? People not paying me for my T2 work that I would want to work to do, and then I said it before, right? Customers shouting with me like, why does this stuff not work? Like, yeah, because nobody thought about this, and like, you cannot then do it for free as a hobby if someone wants it to work, or like, I need to write scan software that I didn't want to write just because that is the one thing people want to pay more for, and then it's like, yeah, it's not hobby anymore, right? Then it's your work that you would not want to sit and write this paperless scan software now. And also the things with a hobby, it probably was a hobby 25 years ago, but like if you keep doing it for 20 years and also on some professional level, and then you constantly have to fix other people's issues, although this is exceptionally our issue, but it's somehow also not like fun if you for 20 years work after other people's bugs, at least usually also cling build. Yeah, but that is another discussion for another day. So it's KCC. Do we have some? So what we basically would need is, I mean, we probably could I usually prototype stuff like, I mean, we could even use the same variable. But the thing is with this IT hobby also that a lot developments in IT are also not what I like, right? So that is also really frustrating when you see so much stuff like Apple's vendor login and macOS developing in even more Wallet Garden, iOS things, and yeah, that is then also frustrating that you have to deal with things that you think are not the best developments. If that is, alright, I don't have the set. If this is GCC, echo KCC, we probably, so do you have a shorter hand? Is there some shell trickery equals GCC? So we probably, if we, is this the shortest someone can come up with? Let's for F in B and this to, oh, this doesn't work here. Okay, but this works. Do we then need to echo F done and then yeah, it works as expected. Yeah, would be interesting, any shell scripting. So let's quickly, would we come up with, I mean, we have unset or set. Do we have word expansion? If we can quickly check expansion. Did I? Oh, this is wrong. This is word. Parameter, expands parameters. Yeah. So if unset or null, we just wonder, so if null or unset, nothing is otherwise expands of word. Is it all we have? Probably, right? If expanded name variable whose begins with prefix. Array, word, okay, that is pattern. Yeah, I guess. If you have something shorter, leave me in the comments below. But basically, We would also theoretically need to do that for the other. So basically we can theoretically copy and paste that if we wanted to fix that for future proofing. That would be if KCC is GCC, and that is actually, by the way, does it support an empty list for X in nothing, do echo X, or does it syntax error? Okay, that works if that is empty. Because sometimes they changed bash that somehow empty statements are no longer valid since quite a while. So default CC and echo CC. And so the only thing is we want to line break that too. CC, GCC, and do that to X. That probably fixes that, and then so that is half of the story. Let's theoretically do we need to delete that? So we need the same for Clang. Where even was that? GCC conf. And we need to do the same for Clang now. Okay, we totally don't have anything here yet, because nobody so far seriously wanted Clang as system compiler. So theoretically it would be the best to share some code actually, but for now let's copy it. So where do we put this? Make Clang methods. Clang post make. We have post make. I always copy and paste. Like if I have it handy, of course I could type it, but always more consistency, less room for typos. And then this stuff here. That would be toolchain. Otherwise, wait a second. Wait, this is also. Why do we delete that prefix? Interesting that we delete it for some reason in toolchain. Not the biggest issue, but basic. So here we. Oh, this is CC. Why do we even do this? With symlink. With symlink dash. Is this not superfluous? Is this not root? Prefix bin arch target. Why do we have that here twice? Arch target dash GCC. This looks superfluous to me. I'm not really sure if that is in there. Maybe we should see this in the log. But even this here should only be done actually here too. I would say we should only do this if we have default. So CPP2. And that only if it's KCC. And basically we would need something similar. Let's properly copy and paste that. Yeah, probably it's better to do that here too. And then, so cling. Maybe we should somehow make this more generic. The question, maybe we don't even install it like that. And so cling. And cling to do. Need to check. And cling and that probably, let's delete it. We would need that in the flang package. I mean, or should we? Oh, a super chat. Thank you so much for coffee. Celebrating the first super chat. That is so amazing. Thank you so much. Highly appreciated. Actually, literally yesterday brought coffee. By the way, is it all? 21 point. That is all the... I have, if you're wondering who's lighting, we are saving electricity. I have the LED light bulb hanging there. How much light is it even? Hey, it does something. My recycled LED light bulb on a power supply. I was wondering, what's your opinion about getting Rust into the Linux kernel? I said this before, I probably need to make a dedicated video. In general, I appreciate all advancements in memory safety, and I was a huge fan of for C++ 20 years ago, or 25 years ago, when C++ was latest and greatest with STL, with more type safety and containers and stuff, where you made less mistakes. Not the most impressed with C++ development the last 20 years since then though. I appreciate the Rust stuff in general, although I have quite some nitpicking on various parts of the infrastructure that are not directly related to core Rust, just with the micro dependencies and the cloud installation stuff. But with the Linux kernel, initially I thought it might be a good thing. However, I looked into the implementation details, and each time I look into the implementation details, I'm not the most happy anymore, because I'm shocked the way currently it's a huge mess, and I unfortunately expected it will be a huge mess. I would actually say, if you want some more safe stuff in Rust, then probably better do everything in ReduxOS. That's the previous video. Have you looked into ReduxOS, the pure Rust kernel and stuff? Because if you mix this stuff, then everyone gets complicated in the mess. And adding insult to this messy injury is that currently you need a very specific version of Rust, which cannot be too old and not too new, and further you need to then build parts of Rust for the Linux kernel. So there is some pre-compilation step of standard alloc and whatnot, and you need a very specific version of bind or cbindgen. So this makes it very annoying, right? Especially if it continues like this. It's also huge, right? It generated hundreds of megabytes, like even on a Ryzen 7950X, it probably built 5 minutes more or whatever. It downloaded all kinds of stuff. So my point is, it's a mess. It's an annoying mess that constantly breaks, right? Literally the first time I tried it out, I was like, what the heck? You need to build some standard alloc stuff and so on. It's like due, and then like the first time I tried it out, like cbindgen was too new, and because the cbindgen is also, even they constantly change stuff incompatible, right? So my point is, I've done it, I've seriously done it, it was super annoying, and if I find it already super annoying, then probably it's pretty super annoying. And if it continues like this, that recently they updated this in the Linux kernel, the Linux kernel people updated the Rust stuff, and because until recently you needed some half a year or older Rust version, recently they renewed it. But if it continues like this, it will be really extremely annoying, especially if it will be for years, like maybe a decade, because of all the ever-changingness, then I fear that if you want to build Rust stuff in the Linux kernel, you always need a 6 months or 12 months older Rust version with specific version of cbind and stuff. Although maybe that changes, but maybe it will always be like you need some old version of Rust just to build the Linux kernel stuff, and that is extremely annoying if otherwise you have a new Rust version, like the latest Rust version, except for the Linux kernel, where you need always to have some generations older Rust because of it's ever changing and ever breaking. So I would say probably better do everything in Rust, and if you start mixing stuff, then it always will be an incompatible mess. But so we have set up the stuff, so Clang. But yeah, if you mileage may vary, leave it in the comments below. I'm always curious because it's only one person's opinion, so leave. I'm seriously interested in your opinion, if you find it amazing or not, if you have problems and hot takes, leave them in the comments below. So Clang, default Clang, we did this. All right, actually so this is if not, so this is if native, so Clang to CC, maybe CPP we need to check. Maybe they have Clang CPP, I need to check. Clang to KCC, Clang to KCC. So yeah, and the other thing is, actually wait a second, I wanted to add a to-do, not to do in Flang. We need to make that also Flang, right? Flang. Also need to make this greater. I'm guessing they're missing this. I'm guessing if missing, what if then, if which line you probably want no, I want line numbers. Missing with KCC, if here, you mean here I use the short form. Like if then, if for do done return, if at stage toolchain, I believe it looks good. We will soon find out. For do ln if then phi, if there, well, it will syntax error if there is. The one more thing, if where if I appreciate your help, just don't. Here we use some short form, right? To echo this only for the list. We will see. Yeah, patches will come otherwise. I don't see it instantly, but I also don't. Guessing there's if missing with KCC. So you're saying you have phi, you go directly to this one is for this, right? ln, you have phi, then go directly to brackets. This is valid. You don't need if, you only need if. So this is because this is a test. This test always runs. So this if is only if you want a block. So this is a regular form. This is a short form. I use, if I have only one line, I always use a short form. So if you talk about that, that is fine. We use it all over. Like here, we even use it here, right, in this variable expansion. So yeah. So this is even, you even have a program like the old-fashioned Unix thing before. I guess I've never researched that, but I would expect that in the original Unix 40 years ago, that probably was not shell built in, because there is test, right? So that is user in, or like which, or this is a built-in, but There is a test program. So probably 40 years ago this was not built into the shell. Probably only some 30 years, like 10 years later, in the early days they probably built it into the shell for performance reasons. But there's nothing wrong in having this sub process, right? And there's even the bracket program, right? So even that is a program. Although usually in all normal shells, I have literally no idea why this still lingers around there, but it is. Yeah, so there's short form is faster. I'm not sure. I would expect it should be the same performance in modern shells. And modern shells each should be built in. Just find it more. I just find it more readable of having less clutter around the statements. Okay, this just failed. 27. What was 27, 72. Ah, here, cool. By the way, fun fact, because I misspoke this, in Germany these numbers are, by the way, the other way sorted. Fully pronouncing these numbers in Germany is reverse, right? So in English you say 72, 7 first, right? 72. In German it's actually the other way around, 72, and so it's like 2, we say like 2 and 70. Just fun fact that you learn something useful, and not only shell conditionals here. So this might fix that part. We still have one thing to do, which is what does Clang even install? Let's see. Clang. And probably it would not surprise me that there are plenty of other languages, obviously, so that is certainly some difference in languages. So I wonder, by the way, what we do break if we rename that, but basically what do we want to rename here? Only Clang? And by the way, is that a Zoomlink or... Okay, these are Zoomlinks. Are the Zoomlinks created probably by the installer? Yeah. I don't see the code here. The problem with that always is whether it works with our install wrapper. That we sometimes use. Where would be a good example? Probably Control C that better. Otherwise we... Or is it already installed? Let's check if we had this already installed. Tools... bin... Clang. Actually we had Clang already. Why did this rebuild? Let's RM that. And develop Clang. Actually, here we have already It is more. It becomes quite complicated with Clang, with GCC installed, using those libs, freestanding. Yeah. How do we best do this? Here's also toolchain. Probably we... Oh wait, we have toolchain. I guess here is the best thing to... Oh wait, this is cross. So here's toolchain, and then if it is a default, actually not, we better copy that. If so, like some conditionals on duplicates, you know what it is. Because one is only with GCC, the other is in any case. So oh wait a second. We could always do, we don't need to conditionalize it. We actually basically always want to rename it. So install wrapper, and so we want to filter Clang. Clang or ++ to handle this in one, probably should. Oops. Actually wait, we don't even need a character class, we can Clang or plus if any. That probably should work. To so yeah, GCC does it automatically, right? We don't have code for that in GCC, because GCC, if you configure GCC as a cross-compiler, it defaults actually to installing as Arch triplet. So we don't have code for that. Maybe we have here. Trans ISR, or maybe not. Wait, maybe it's also program prefix. Oh no, yeah, okay, maybe I spoke too early. Apparently, program prefix, good. We can actually check if Clang has that. Probably not. Nothing like grabbing a monstrous code base. Always something. There's always something that matches regex matching, but apparently not. At least not at first glance on under other names, maybe. So I mean, let's see if it works. Escaped. Oops. So let's manually prefix it. Let's hope it works for our install wrapper. SED. Not really sure why we have -e here. Don't really need it here. Substitute, comma, all this good stuff. And this I have done, so all the other Clang command stuff doesn't substitute. That for sure will break stuff. And stop substitute that to actually the match. So we need that probably should work. Let's see if we can test this somehow. That was install wrapper filter. Why is it empty? Stage. Ah, it's not. Maybe it's not. Ah, it's not toolchain stage. Yeah. Ah, what is already terminated as command? Ah, maybe. Oh no. Terminated as command. This is maybe on the first glance it. Maybe something partially expanded there. SED. So let's touch A, or let's touch Cling. Let's install Cling to root prefix bin dir. x86. Do we have install wrapper debug? Debug, no debug. Other both debug, what do we missing? Not really helpful. Actually, we could run strace. For both. Okay, it partially works. Just that the variable expansion does not. So it works in principle, just that our install, but let's be by the control C that then. Maybe we expanded then already, we can simply change the quoting there. I'm not really sure why this wouldn't expand. There's certainly some reason for it. Let's check if it would not expand this, whatever format or what. Just making this up for a test. Cling format, okay. And it hopefully works too. Okay. So then let's change that from expanding here then it expands. There is a moment we add this to the variable and yep. Then it is, let's hope also Clang works, not that Clang is picky for that's why it took time to break engine machines by British. Enigma. Yeah, let's hope Clang++ and stuff works and they don't have any program name comparison in there. So that probably anything else? Clang++, and theoretically the CPP. Okay, they have Clang CPP. Then let's wire it up as well. Remember all the stacked to-do stuff. So if systemcc, then link Clang CPP. And did we have that? No, here we don't have that. Okay, so cc. Did we have this in GCC? And that is also why I didn't do it before, right? It is a relatively new thing, and yeah, it took probably 50 minutes with talking and stuff. So okay, without YouTube it would only have taken 20 minutes or so, with some overhead of talking concentration and CPP. Okay, we didn't do that for the toolchain. Yeah, I mean we can run the system CPP. Not a big deal. So that hopefully works. We will see in a second. Probably that is all we wanted to do today. Let's see. White space star make selection, also select package. Okay, that's another thing. Source mirror automatic package match update data test works. Optional depths, fix lip deer. Why do I have Clang here? Clang, right, alright, Clang. Good that we have this actually topic of like even this is only one of my to-dos, and even that is already 78 lines. So yeah, arch prefix Clang and symlinks done. And okay, we're building this. Actually just deleted that, very clever. KCC. Okay, technically it is right, we just fixed that, so let's touch that. And that is why we have automation and auto-detecting that. It is totally right, just it's fine. We manually YOLO'd over it. It is how we want it. So please continue. Do we have already system? It was about KCC, right? Why do we have? Do we not have GCC yet? Okay, these are dangling. Okay, we had this probably already in. This partial pre-build. So libdir. Apparently the libdir is wrong. We probably just experienced that now. Was at least on the last build. Yeah, it is. So here's one more. Should we already control C that? Actually, I wouldn't have needed to extract it if we... I mean, I could have let the test build run and see if it still happens, but it happened last month, so probably I didn't fix something. Unless some generic fixed something. F-list of... F-list? Log of Clang. Actually, we built with CMake library path, so thank you very much. And that is my frustration with the IT industry, landscape industry and state of open source and source and stuff. Like, we have 2 dozens of build systems and all fail differently, all have different options, and even if they have options, they are at times not standard and so on, right? libdir, it's like, why? Like, after having solved libdir stuff 20 years ago and adapted it for 2 dozens of build systems, like, why do we still... Ah, here's Clang libdir suffix, you can't make this shit up. Like, why has, like, why? Can someone explain to me why they need to use another shitty libdir suffix? Do they set it somewhere? Apparently not. Here is... and this is... I'm really sorry that why I'm like constantly and every day so negative, because for 25 years I fix nonsense like this, and this is just... We had configure, like, why is not everything... Sure, autoconf sucks, I agree. I was probably one of the first who 25 years ago said, like, autoconf stuff sucks. But why could this stuff at least not keep the calling convention? The calling convention of configure, bindir, libdir, and like dash dash, like I take every autoconf dash dash prefix, like sane calling conventions for program names and arguments, because the CMake stuff is anyway not sane, right? That you need CMake, like, which other program takes dash capital D stuff of shitty named CMake variables? It's... They have LVM library output dir. It's like, yeah, but like, why the heck not use libdir? It's like... Actually, once upon a time we had this. Actually, we have that here already in there. Does it? Oh, it's commented out. Oh, that is a good thing. Okay, we had this in there, but commented out. So recent Clang enforces the same suffix as LVM config. So I commented it out some years ago, and now it doesn't work again anymore. So if libdir is... So if there is something left of removing all of libdir, then LVM libdir suffix libdir. Let's try that again. It's like, yeah, every year adapting, it's probably then the 3rd time that I adopted Clang's libdir suffix, because every year they change it for every major release, probably. The question is, we have this in a couple of other LVM Clang family packages. Let's clean that up. What I usually like to do then, because they are all copied from, like, all the other LLDB and so on, friends and family are copied from Clang. Because of course I copied this from Clang. Like, who thought this argument calling convention is in some way, shape or form amazing? Cool, so some have LVM libdir suffix. Wait, are they... Oh, was it LVM libdir suffix? Was it not Clang? any of those commented out, or the others actually only Clang was commented out. Okay, then actually there's something. I thought the other were also commented out. Yeah, one step forward, one step back. And that is what theoretically we need to unit test even more. Like even that's the last release. Like if we would have 90%, I'm not even saying 100%, you probably, like with this complex Linux distribution stuff, you will never have 100% unit test coverage, but at least 90%. For example, with that I mean like checking even only basic functionality like that Valgrind works, because just the other live stream I noticed that Valgrind doesn't work anymore, so ADM log. And like if we would have even basic tests for each package, we would have, like before releasing an ISO with Valgrind not working, realized that. So that is suffix, LVM libdir suffix. Let's maybe double check. No, it's Clang libdir suffix. That is what I was wondering. Although they have here library LVM libdir suffix. Nah. Nothing like cancelling the build again. But there is also tools. There they have LVM libdir. Wait, why do they have Clang libdir suffix, LVM libdir suffix? Here they have Clang libdir suffix. Actually, wait a second, they're supposed to... Maybe this breaks... Okay, maybe my comment is correct and they sync it to... you know how this happens. On a native build it might have worked, but we do cross build and the cross toolchain has everything in lib. That is probably how this breaks. But that name is Clang libdir suffix. Oh no, wait. This is confusing. They set libdir suffix from VM libdir. So what do we set now? Darn, I should not have cancelled that. Pro tip, if you have a build running, let's maybe continue to run it. But that begs the question, how many other tools even have this libdir in LLDB? LLD? Okay, that has lib64. Okay, this actually indeed has... What do we set now? We set LVM libdir. I don't have all installed, I believe. LL. Yeah, I don't have all installed. Okay, then let's probably leave it like LLDB suffix LVM libdir. Why did I even comment it out then? Did it break? Must have been a reason why some month ago I commented it out. Because usually I don't comment out stuff for fun. Okay, that's basically for this video. Another good hour of preventing bit rot and our Linux distribution remaining one of the most amazing, even more amazing, some found than BSDs. I hope you enjoyed this, learned something. As always, if you have comments, leave them below. Even later, I usually try to still follow up with them. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, learned something. Don't forget to like, subscribe, maybe Patreon, GoFundMe, and otherwise have a good day or night, and I hope to see you soon for all the next even more amazing ISOs and builds to come.